As I told in this masterclass, I'm gonna teach you how to make affordable this cultural travel. How to make it from low budget to free. Yeah, I know that maybe this is very important for many of you. But you know what? Actually, money is not what matters. But stories that you make on the way are gonna be exactly what matters in the end. Let me explain you why. When you start to meet people in the world, start having amazing stories and friends that you're never gonna forget because you lost a train with a person and you had to improvise a last day in their houses, or you just maybe like met a person randomly and then decided to make a trip together for 2 or 3 days. Any kind of stories can happen, and these ones are much better because this helps you to enjoy more your trip. Likewise, there are kind of situations that will help you to get a better experience in your cultural travel. Throughout service, as we've seen in the last lecture, we have to start hosting people. But this doesn't mean that we have to help others in order to gain something back. This is not exactly what cultural travel means, but it's everything about cooperation. When you help other people, you want to help them genuinely. And then this help comes back. And you can show the gratitude throughout service. You can help in the house, you can help in other kind of activities that you are expert with. Everything works. But also in other situations, you might be invited to do different kind of activities, maybe for hiking or going to a museum, or I don't know, like things that might have a cost. But you know, maybe even if we are trying to save as much as possible the money, we don't have to say no to these kind of experiences, because when you are spending time with your host, this is another way of gratitude. You are expressing your love. Sometimes you have to let a free space in your wallet, like to do these kind of activities, and not all of them have to be expensive or they have a cost. No, sometimes they can be free as well. But what I want to tell you is that we don't have to be worried about money, but the experience that you are getting are gonna be the most important things. And then we start to think of less about money, and we start to enjoy more the experience that you earn throughout your cultural travel. But in this masterclass, I'm going to teach you how to make this travel affordable, how to spend less money, and how to make it more valuable in the things that really matters.
No, the most important thing is friends.
For example, in other course, I'm gonna teach you how to make money in your travel to make it more sustainable. As well as in work community, we're gonna help you to have a better experience when everyone in there wants to help you as well. So, money is not the most important thing, but stories that you make are gonna be the ones that will make your travel unforgettable.